then we were doing projects that had a lot to do with the carbon footprint reduction and carbon footprint mitigation. When Miro asked us to come to this conference, we didn't really know what to expect 2 years ago. But the lectures that we heard at the conference made us think, and the team that was at the time working for Nectarina decided to try to do something with sustainability. Our tagline since we were founded was educate, connect and inspire. And it took us quite a bit of time to figure out how we can translate that into the sustainable questions and futures. What we did is we started the Education for Sustainability project that now runs in 4 continents and in almost 15 countries. The idea of the project and the main goal of the project is to advocate with ministries of education to introduce sustainability as a separate subject in schools. So not to have it as a part of science or geography or any other subject, but to have it as a separate subject in its own right. At the end of the day, it's a political decision, because even if we have the agreement from ministries of education that they do want to do it and they think it's a good idea, the decision is on the parliament. So the parliament has to vote to change the curriculum and to change the education policy. So that means that the majority of our work and the work of our partners across countries who are implementing the project is actually political lobbying, or advocating, which is politically more correct word. However, we try to do a lot of side things in order to put pressure, or what we call positive pressure, to decisions that are going to be made in the parliament or in the ministries. So this is the website of the project. We have created the project as an open source project. How it works is once we enter into a certain country, we partner with an organization or with a group of people. We train them and we share all the experience and the knowledge that we have reached so far with the project, to the point where they can continue doing the project on their own. Obviously, this means that we cannot, and that was never the intention, to copy-paste things from country to country. We use the idea that the project has, and then we custom-make it and tailor it to the specifics of each country. We, on the website, because we wanted to have all the data and information that we have collected over the years free for everyone, we have created DocuWiki. So it's not a Wikipedia, but it's DocuWiki, which is something that works for us for this project, where anyone can access it. So it's free, it doesn't need any passport. Anyone can access it and download anything that is on there, or just use it for their projects. Or anyone can send an email and ask us to upload things that are relevant for the project, even if it's a country that we are currently not working in. This has been a very useful tool for our partners in Central Asia and in Eastern Europe. And we have used English language because it's easier for everyone to communicate and to understand what's on the wiki, or the DocuWiki. The other thing that we have done this year, we started working on it last year, and this year we have put it online, is something that we did with some guidance of University of London, but it was an in-house project. So it is the first attempt at having the sustainability footprint calculator for people, not for companies. What we have on many websites at this point is how can a company calculate its sustainability impact, but we don't have it for an average person. What this sustainability footprint calculator does, it lets you choose the country. At the moment we have Croatia and United Kingdom because our offices are in those two countries. And then it lets you, once you choose the country, it lets you choose the city. At the moment we have for UK, Bristol and London, because this is still a very sort of alpha version. What it does in the background, which you don't really see, but what it does, it collects a whole bunch of data, KPIs from the country and from the city, which would impact your sustainability footprint without you even knowing. What does it mean in reality? It means that a person who lives in a sustainable, conscious country or a city would have a lower sustainability footprint, even if it does the exact same thing as a person who lives in a very polluted and sustainable, not so conscious place. Once you do your choices, obviously you have a choice not to choose anything. You can start with the questions. The questions are in three basic clusters. So basic questions, lifestyle questions, work and study questions. Each time you answer a question, the application in the background assigns a color code to your answer. Once there are three sets of questions, you don't see it as a user, but it's happening in the background. So once you answer the first set of questions, depending on how your answers are rated, you will be given another set of questions that are chosen from three different sets, depending on your first answers. So we have color-coded them green, yellow, and red for this first trial. Green obviously being the most sustainable, yellow being somewhere in the middle, and red being very unsustainable. At the end, this application, it's important to say that it runs as a web application, but it also runs as a smartphone application, and it looks like this on any of the device. You can obviously use it on iPads and other tablets as well. What it does in the end, and what it does with certain questions, it also gives you tips at the bottom, which are educational and suggest what you can change with your lifestyle in order to have a better score next time. And it's not just about having the better score, it's about changing your lifestyle so that you can live in a more sustainable way. We have, it's available online, so anyone can try it, obviously. We haven't started to distribute it yet, because this is just a very first version, and we are now working, once we have tested it, we understood what the issues are and what parts need to be explained in a more detailed way to the user. So now we are working on the next version. We are hoping to be able to market it properly. It will be open source, so it will be free for anyone. And it will be open source in terms of the code as well. So if any of the developers are going to want to work on it in the future, they will be able to do so. But we are hoping to be able to distribute it and to market it in a proper way by the end of this year. So at the moment it is online, anyone can try it and go through all the questions, but it's a very basic version. We are doing some other things with regards to sharing knowledge, and one of them are sharing knowledge platforms, which are, let me just find where I am in this presentation. Okay. The web knowledge sharing platform. So what we are working on at the moment is a multimedia web portal. We had this idea from the beginning of the project, so we had the idea for 2 years now. It took us a while to find a way to do it, because it's not a cheap project, and it's quite a complex project in terms of which content do you need to have to put on the platform. The platform is going to be free, so open source platform, so anyone can work on it and develop it further, and anyone can copy the code and do something similar in their country. The platform is thought to have 3 main parts. One would be a DocuWiki, which will give the possibility for schools mainly to share their practices, case studies, information, photographs, anything relevant for sustainability in schools. The other part is going to be video conferencing sharing platform, where we have already spoken with several partners to start video conferencing on a monthly basis between schools. So it would be peer-to-peer discussion about the sustainability, what it means to them and why it's important. And the third part is a place for anyone who wants to participate in the platform and to be a part of it, to express their views, blog about it, share anything they, and have a discussion in a forum format. We have, at the moment we are working on the platform for Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean region, and for Fiji and the Pacific region. We have started discussions to do the same platform for India and for South Asia region. Obviously it takes us quite a bit of time to do all those things, and we are a pretty small organization. We have compiled most of the data that will go into the platform with the help of volunteers. So we use quite a bit of volunteer work in developing projects. We have a programmer in-house which helps. So basically he can work full-time on development and on programming. And for any other specific things, we either outsource them when we can, so we pay them when we can, or we partner with different universities and their IT sector or departments. I think that's it for now. We have a very detailed presentation on both projects, which I can send to anyone who is interested. But now I think, since we are very time limited,
you could send them to me and I upload it on the conference homepage. Yeah, okay.
If anyone has any questions at this point.
Thank you, Sandra. There are some questions for Sandra. I think it will be, given the importance of this presentation, but also the previous presentation, I think it will be a good idea to encourage you to get in touch with both of these 2 people later on, maybe during lunch or coffee break, but also, as Miro mentioned, to view the documents that are going to be shared on a conference website, so that you can visualize or go through the materials attentively, and maybe get in touch with Sandra afterwards to ask specific questions, because I think these are really interesting and very important topics and work that they are doing. So if there are very short questions, we can go through them now. Okay, otherwise I think it's a good idea to get in touch with Sandra. Thank you.